Hey, what's up, guys? This is Leon, and I find with introduction of an amazing book about this guy in back of me. His name is Edgar Allan Poe, and I want to give some introduction about this book in order to start to read it. However, I'm not going to give a biography because there are so many on internet. So I'm going to talk about the introduction of this book. Biographers can summarize the life of this guy, of this writer, because it's so difficult. Even his death, until today, nobody knows exactly how he died. So it's a total mystery. In October 9, 1849, Reverend Henry Griswold talked about the Poe personality. He qualified him as irascible, quarrelsome, mercurial, and difficult features. Also, in the novel Francis Vivian in Bulwer, which is a novel against the human happiness, he talks about the wealth, but he didn't compare his check. Also, say this writer Edgar Allan Poe use self-confidence or transform self-confidence into arrogance. So for our Griswold, Edgar Allan Poe was so arrogant. Since his death, everyone started using what Griswold told about him. So the writers of that time qualified him as a bad person. However, the professor Arthur Finn mentioned in a book mentioned that Wisworth forgotten the absence of quotations. That means that that Wisworth was talking about how he qualified him. However, it was not the reality. That's the reason that this writer have so many, so many, some support and others don't support. So it was until that point, a little contradiction. So we are going to hear about the next point is Poe poetry. Poe poetry, the in this book says that the most famous are Annabelle, the Raven, and the Bells. Which is so amazing about his author for me is the use of elements of music into the literature. He used the songs, for example, rip. He used it in the bells. He says the bells are tingling, tingling, tingling while you're talking, talking, talking. For says that means the reader transform in the started to hear that that things writing of the books in order to understand the poem. Also says the Annabelle is a melancholic, is a lyric absence of loss. And I don't know because I didn't read. So I'm going to read and make something to see what's happening. And some important point about the Raven. The Raven is the most famous and almost everyone in the world knows about Edgar Allan Poe because the Raven. However, the Raven could be based in the poem My Last Duchess, right? In My Last Duchess, is something appear. It's something equally. You have to read My Last Duchess. and compare with the Raven of Edgar Allan Poe. So we are going moving very quickly to Poe fiction Gothic story. And I know many readers likes him because the Gothic stories. He wrote about detective stories, parodied satires, and Gothic stories essays, and also Reverend from Death. So much violence. Why is so much violence writing on this book of Edgar Allan Poe? Because in the century 18, it was so normal. They all about the world was so violent, even in TV, in the novels, and many things. A quick note that this writer Edgar Allan Poe, he was qualified in the time of Romanticism. However, he wanted to make a difference, saying, I'm not going to write about Romanticism because it was the top of the time. He wanted to make a difference, and he started writing about the terror and the bizarre. The bizarre is something what I love it about Edgar Allan Poe. So the tales are, if you don't read about if you didn't read about Edgar Allan Poe, you have to read some novels because it's so amazing. I really enjoyed the Black Cat, and also I don't have keep, but the Black Cat and the hair, the later or something like that. It's because he wanted to be in the story. He also in many of his novels he writes as the first person, as a person who is passing, who is living what he wrote. And also in that detective stories, it's like because he delighted by himself, how he feels, he expressed it. And in Tosno of the Black Cat, as the head delighted, or something like that, it's so amazing because you really feel a connection in that book. To finish, it depends how you qualify this writer Edgar Allan Poe. If you say this was an amazing, it is okay. But if you didn't like, you have to say why you didn't like, and also it is okay. But today, almost everyone in the world knows about Edgar Allan Poe, and he recognized it. He was an amazing writer, even about his personality. We don't know, and really, we don't care about the personality. What we are enjoying today is his novels, his poems, and other things about what he wrote. In order to enjoy the Edgar Allan Poe stories, you don't have to make a quick review about his poems. You don't have to be as a student who is making because he's gaining points in college. You have to read his book and qualify him because you are a reader and you are enjoying the things. However, it is okay also if you're a student and your professor say, yeah, you have to read about Edgar Allan Poe and you do, it's okay. That is what I wanted to say about Edgar Allan Poe, and see you soon with many stories because I'm going to summarize the history. So it's like, you know, but also I'm going to give some other books. So be in tune up. See ya, guys.